All right, welcome everyone. Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
ReZero, Season 3, Episode 15.
Okay.
We dealt with the family.
Yes.
So
Reinhardt is now bouncing off at the speed of light to the next fight.
I almost feel like the
surrender now or prepare to fight.
Right, like I feel like
take flight.
The rest of the season is basically just going to be following Reinhardt as he just, with maybe some preamble of before he gets there to set the scene.
What are we doing here? What are any of us doing here?
Yeah, right. And then just
I love so much having Reinhardt as this absolutely broken, overpowered character where it's not about whether or not he'll survive or something like that, or whether he'll win the fight. It's more about, will they have something that will just keep him away for a period of time as the real fight happens. It's just so fun and kind of hilarious in a lot of ways.
And Mr. Corneas, you almost won this whole fight for your side, but you had to throw him at the goddamn moon. You had one job. You had one job. You might have actually been able to succeed where everyone else in existence would have failed.
There's just this period of time where the Sword Saint was gone for 10 years. He was on his way back, but it just took a long ass time.
He had to wait until he hit an asteroid somewhere.
He hit a gas giant and was like swirling around it.
He went into the asteroid belt of Mars and he's like, finally.
And it just wasn't enough to stop the momentum, He's just on an asteroid.
No, but it just gives something to push off of so that he can, come back.
Yeah, then it pushes off him and he's moving very slow.
Right.
In space, and he's just like,
damn it, there's no air. Yeah.
But all right, let's go pick up with some of the other fights, see where they're going. So yeah, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. Wait, but that didn't stab him.
Does gluttony like people to be living when they eat them?
I'm surprised by your lack of mudas in all of that.
Yeah. Okay.
Whoa! Ah! Ah!
Just blocked like it was nothing.
Nice. What? Whoa! Oh my god,
that's hilarious.
That's so funny.
That's fantastic.
If you know, you know. Oh yeah!
Just use roar. Do the roar.
Howl at the moon. Whoa!
I love the wow so much.
Yeah. So are these like abilities that they've stolen, maybe?
I think so. I think we're dealing with a UBW Archer style situation. All right, bring up a specific memory.
No way.
Yeah. Someone else gluttony's devoured.
My buds.
Uh-oh. No, I'm sure you could do it before you get to the dozens.
Right. Now I don't want to see you go hollow.
Yeah.
Enough talking, yeah. That's love after all. Yes, yes. It's scary.
Fantastic. I love this so much.
The first time, too.
Oh my god.
Wow.
I love the dialogue in this fight.
Yeah. Oh, we're dragon time again.
Oh,
okay.
right. You just made it way easier. I've no hit mid-ear.
Yep. Turns away. Oh! Get buried.
He just swims away.
Amazing.
Oh my god.
Perfect. I have some theories though about Al though.
Yeah.
The dying the first time. Mm-hmm. Oh. He was checking to make sure his helmet was on because someone was coming. Of the cat-eared femboy.
Right.
Like, Al really is from our world. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, she'll be back, yeah. Oh.
Oh.
Wait. Wow. Wow.
Oh,
that's so nasty.
I love it, but oh my god.
Oh my god, the animation.
That was gorgeous.
Oh!
No.
Dude! Give me a proper doki doki.
Mm-hmm.
What? Dagara. Oh.
Huh.
The voice change.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's never going away. Oh no. Yeah. You're surrounded, yeah.
Just fine, actually.
I guess.
No!
Do not want
the rats. I did.
We gotta get a sword in Felix's hand.
Yeah.
Oh! He's here. Yes. Oh. Meanwhile, right, but he's not trying to kill them.
Right.
Right, because he's
Or
stolen
8
them.
people that trained for years.
Yeah. But then why is there 2?
Right.
Oh, the... Oh. He's gone. He's gone. That's it.
Just.
That person there, Hicks Fulment, is just taken. Oh my god.
Didn't even have to eat them. Although I guess that makes sense, right? Because otherwise Ram wouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
A whole lot.
Ah, their names. Gotcha. Right, so he's not killing them because they haven't given him their names yet.
Okay, okay. I like it.
Yeah, yeah. But then eventually he gets bored and has to kill them, yeah.
Internal Affairs Officer. Oh my god.
That's amazing! Right, this is so meta. Oh, he's turning the timetables up. Arrange this here, the forks on this side, yes, yes. Yep, and it's just over immediately.
Yeah.
Yep. All of them. Ah! Let's go, Internal Affairs Officer! Yeah! Your next line will be... Oh! Oh, shit! Oh, no! Sorry,
Okay.
Internal Affairs Officer.
Internal Affairs Officer.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. Yeah.
No, 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 no.
Oh!
Oh!
Yes!
Yeah, Betty,
I
let's go.
suppose! Yes! 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 I suppose indeed! Ah,
Give
I've been
up
waiting
now.
for you to show up. Oh.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Already ate Ram. Or,
Yeah. 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 Right.
yep.
Right. Uh-huh.
Yep, okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Time to give the old 1-2.
Yeah, yeah. Do a curtsy, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
Okay.
The two of us.
Yeah! Yeah!
What a team up.
Holy shit.
Team up.
I was fantasizing that it'd be like, Otto and Reinhard, but even better.
Oh, even
Otto and
better.
Byakuo.
I
This was
apologize, Internal Affairs Officer.
Yeah, yeah.
I was not familiar with your name.
Right. Well, the idea that just everyone forgot Otto's name, like it's just
perfect.
that's fantastic.
It's so meta and it's so self-aware.
And the way
it
they-
makes actual literal sense too.
Oh
like,
yeah, but then also the way they all look at the same time, like they've talked about this, where it's like, yeah.
Wait, what was his name again? I don't know.
I don't know. Do you know? I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to seem impolite and So I'm trying. They're all trying to figure out like who. Like clearly this person is important. We
Right.
should know his
He's
name.
just some merchant, right? Yeah, I guess so. Internal Affairs. Yeah,
But like
yeah.
everyone treats him like he's a really big deal.
Right. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
like
but-
he's
but
just
I-
friends
I-
with Subaru, I guess. and
Yeah,
like, whatever.
That's
I love it so much.
fantastic.
Oh my god. But yeah. All in all, though, Otto shouldn't be able to physically contend with Lai Batenkaitos.
Be like, all right, I'm a bear hug you.
That's cute.
That's
Kicks
cute.
him off.
You're right. Now,
leaves explosives in his chest.
Fantastic. But, that just singes the clothes and everything. Also, the official reveal, even though it's something that, like, we knew, right?
Oh, yeah.
But the putting on display of the REM memories and everything.
Right, but also the idea that it seems to me like different ones ate different people.
Right.
Like,
So Lai Baitan Katos is the one that ate Rem, and so that's the one that we need to take care of.
Right, and thus the other one,
which might be Rui,
or they said like Roy or something.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Well, we'll see, because there's all kinds of names in there.
Sure.
Specifically, had taken Julius's other brother. Right. Julius, of course, doesn't remember at any point. Just the terror of like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Stop taunting me with these things here. And there's no memory of it.
Yeah.
There's nothing associated with it. It's such a terrifying ability to have to taunt an opponent, where it's like I know so much about you. And they're right. Yeah. They're right. And you can tell that they're right.
And you don't know why.
But the idea then that you would then use this hunger ability to then take someone through their name, the memories that you'd get from that person then would give you so many more names. So it's this constant infinite hunger thing, because you get a person, you get a name, you get their memories and everything, and then it's like let's go find everyone that they knew, you know?
But also that's I hadn't really thought about this, but like with the abilities that the different like archbishops have.
Yes.
Gluttony was the one where I'm kind of like, huh? Like the erasing people, totally get that. But as far as like a combat sense, it's just like, okay, so you're probably like strong and durable and you fight with weapons, I guess. But
and
like,
you use maybe some of the strength and the power of the people that, you get stronger the more people you eat.
Yeah, who knows? You have some supernatural stuff or whatever. But the idea of also taking the abilities, that makes so much sense then.
Because it's just literally their memories.
Right. Like, but that makes so much sense then why gluttony's so difficult to deal with, and why specifically the fighting style is always being made to look like chaotic and unpredictable, is because you're switching between
tons of different people,
hundreds of people's different ways that they moved and all of that stuff, right?
All the time.
So it's just this impossible to predict erratic monster, right?
Yeah.
And because you have the durability to withstand up to some explosives that blow up right next to you, you don't have to worry about the random thing that just
I mean, Reinhardt could just come by and
Reinhardt could absolutely just show up and you're toast.
Yeah.
But barring that, right, you're gonna be able to handle most any fight that you're involved in, while at the same time it being something that will not be resolved quickly, because both like you don't have you do have supernatural means to attack, because there's all the you learn you full on UBW archer style learn the techniques of people that you've defeated, and so you've got all kinds of things up your sleeve, but you are wanting to get information out of the people so that you can you don't want to waste food.
No. And thus the thing that has been consistent throughout this show is that every archbishop would be absolutely terrifying if they weren't all mentally broken in some way through their own abilities. Pretty much all of them, their own worst enemy is themselves, keeping them from actually utilizing their abilities to the fullest.
Right.
Which is a fun characterization thing, but also a very fun writing thing to make sure that then our characters, who are just these plucky, dumb heroes, have any kind of a chance against some of them.
Exactly.
So, let's have Otto and Beatrice come in here and be like, hell yeah, let's go. I love the merchant with like animal talking, being like,
I'm a non-combat character.
I can do this. I can get you to speak. I can get you to reveal too much.
Yeah, I don't know how to fight, but I can pull some shit, Yeah.
And then Beako or Beatrice comes in and is just like, okay, I think you need my help.
For the sake of being polite to everyone else in the narrative, I used my abilities way too much earlier in the story, so that way, y'all could do your thing, right? But now I've gotten my proper beauty rest, right? And I'm now here to bring an
ass.
ass whooping, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm so here for this. Like, this is going to be wonderful.
Kick names and take ass. Yeah,
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right. Like, the idea that we got the shot, right? Like, the team-up squad shot for Beatrice and Otto is just so perfect. Because,
so iconic.
Because Otto is, as a character, he exists to be in those team-up shots, right?
He does.
Because he's such the, like, I'm here too, you know, right? And we love him for it.
He's the Usopp of this story, and we love him for it.
Yep.
Oh my god. Okay, so that's happening. Lust is actually almost unkillable. We have had a point where Lust and Al had their fight continue to the point that Al dropped a building on her in dragon form. Like, probably even baited her into dragon form specifically so that she wouldn't be able to maneuver well underneath all the rubble.
As much of the building as possible could fall on her.
Yeah, exactly. And then she transformed into what little pieces were left, rats, that would then scurry about, and one of them eventually got out.
Right.
And then rejoined up with all the other pieces of her and regenerated in front of him. And he's just like, fuck, you know?
Right, so you've got to do your decapitation disintegrate attack again, but like hit the head this time, you know? Like just fully.
Right, you should have gone for the head. Yeah.
Right. But oh my god, that fight, like it's both the I'm not at all worried about the outcome because both of these people can't really die, it would seem, or death doesn't stick.
But I want to talk about my theory with
but
that.
The shit talking that happens as a result of that is delightful.
And again, the shit talking kind of reminds me of him too.
Oh no, I know
about it.
But before we go into crazy theory land, let's go through all the things that were brought up. Right. The turns into Giga Dragon.
Yes.
Immediately turns around and puts the sword away. Like, just that by itself is just incredible. Like just
then the most like moody, brooding line of
I'm an edge boy.
I can't love anyone.
Right.
And it's like, wait, is that actually really sad? Like, is there something here that we're supposed to be like really connecting with? Because she's genuinely all about the like, love is fickle, and I can just grab it with just, grabbing the right form, and then, there you go, your love, it's cheap, I have it.
Right, meanwhile, Al's like, love might be cheap, but it isn't a tier 3 sub.
yeah, exactly.
And Priscilla has had mine for a long while.
A very long time. And then turns around basically for the explosion, which is the building dropped.
Right.
On her.
Yeah, take that trap. Knows it's probably not going to kill her, and then it's just like, he
runs in and jumps into the water.
Jumps into the water and just swims away.
Like, then I have to. There's so many things now that this arc has just been building up with Al. And he's been a character that was kind of like and there's the guy that stands alongside Priscilla.
Right.
And we learned this season, that Priscilla has no way of knowing like what's going on in that man's head. That she's like, nah, that guy, he's strange.
Yeah.
He's different.
Yeah.
And all of his focus feels so out of place, given how little he seemed to matter beforehand. But now we know,
he's
doubly confirmed.
Yeah.
He's from our world.
Right.
And he made contact with Subaru almost to tell him, like, hey,
dude,
by the way, just so you're not confused or what have you. Now, the idea of people from our world going to this world, cool.
Yeah.
That's something that I feel like we're going to build more into that as the story continues.
The Hoshin Group's existence is just another example of that,
right? So this has been a thing that's been going on for a while.
Yep.
The thing that I am starting to realize that might be being built up even more, though, is the influence that, like, Subaru specifically being brought to this world by a witch who's old.
And it was just kind of brought out of nowhere. Like, it was just suddenly there.
Right. The idea that Satella, basically, brought him here. When Satella's ancient, old, or what have you. Means that this kind of thing could have, or probably has happened before, at least once or twice.
Sure.
If we go by that, it makes sense potentially that Al is probably just one of those people.
Sure. Yep.
So you could go with this theory, which is basically I don't even like this theory, but I just, if I'm going to build up to a crazy theory here, I'm just going to bring this up here. Satella could have done this before.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Or just any other being of power, what have you. We don't know what is actually necessary in order to do this, but Al's clearly was brought through here, went through some crazy shit.
Yep.
And has just gone through the ringer.
Right. Casually talks about having died before. Which is like, great. I love it. And that totally fits the Dark Souls aesthetic and all that stuff.
Yeah, totally. But to me, that's also the like, wait, nobody in this world talks. Even how powerful everybody is, nobody talks in this world about having died before. And yet we specifically had multiple kind of examples in this arc of people that have died being brought back. Well, and we're specifically focused on how Subaru is not using Return by Death anymore. There's all these things that are disconnected from each other, but stacking up to focus on the theme of how powerful and meaningful death is in this world, and yet how easily it can be cheated. So the thought I have basically is that if Al, and Al as a name is just so like, he doesn't even seem like an owl in like even the slightest sense.
Okay,
like,
all right,
Anyway,
so
it just feels like he could be Subaru.
So
and a Subaru that's either been, time traveled or what have you,
because of
a lot of time.
Right.
We don't.
As far as the things that could lead towards that, or the similarities that are there. He has an affinity for death and not having that stick that is reminiscent of Subaru. He's come from the other world. Maybe that's something that people like he's commonly given or whatever. Right. Possibly.
He has that I'm an isekai protagonist kind of neat vocabulary.
Yeah.
He talks about femboys, basically.
Right, exactly.
I'm sorry, the average person, even from Japan, is not going to know the word femboy.
But then Return by Death is a form of time travel.
Yes.
So that is a potential reason of sorts of how, Al could theoretically be Subaru, because it's not like introducing time travel, like thinking that there's time travel in a story when it hasn't been hinted at before. That's one thing. But there is an actual precedent of some sort.
There's so much precedent for it. There's the other aspect as well, which is basically that if you have Return by Death being a thing that actively resets Subaru back, what happens to all the Subarus that died, basically? Like, are they just universes that just cease to exist, or they continue forth and we've got a multiverse just existing because of Return by Death happening?
Well, I mean, that's what the whole, is it multiverse, or is it actually just, turning back time or whatever? But
we don't know.
But there, like, with the rules that we have for Return by Death, there is the possibility that, who's to say that the checkpoints are actually as fixed as we think? And what if there was some giga checkpoint where it's like, feels very much like Next, where it's like, we had an understanding of the limitations of it, and then suddenly, oh wait, but there's a different thing. And so if he's a Subaru that went back on some, multiple decades.
Yeah, the checkpoint was the beginning of the show.
Right.
The very beginning of him just showing up here was a Return by Death moment.
Potential issues here, though.
Yes, plenty of potential issues. This is a very kooky theory.
Different body, so that connotates more time travel, time portal than actual Return by Death.
Oh, totally.
Another point potentially for it, the whole thing, although I think this would be normal for just about anybody that can come back from the dead, I believe his fight with Lust is the first time that we actually saw him directly mention having died before, which, makes sense that you wouldn't necessarily want people to know, but also like as a, hey, I'm going to shit talk you since you can regenerate and all this crazy shit. And so, hey, like, let's, all cards on the table, let's go.
But the other one is just a really, really boring storytelling meta thing. Why is he so fixated on his helmet being hidden? Like, He's somebody that they all know.
Yeah, like right.
Like they all know. Like that's the part that's so weird is that you'd think that with Priscilla, he's like, oh yeah, whatever. Hey, but she's like, no, I don't even know that, like what that man's deal is or what have you. He went off and just completely disconnected from her this arc as well, which feels very weird if he's this tier 3 sub, I will, do everything for my lady. I don't think he's that. I don't think he's that at all. Like the fact that he just was like, either he's like, no, Priscilla never needed my protection. That was the twist kind of revealed for Priscilla this arc was that
she's badass enough.
She's plenty badass. She has literal magic items that she's death.
Yeah, she's the other person who has cheat death stuff.
Well,
think about it.
Well, if you think about it another way, she's the only person that we've seen use that kind of magic system.
Sure.
Which also feels very returned by death, if you think about it.
Well, that could be the point against him being Subaru, because it's that the ability for him to do that might be as a result of his service to her.
Sure.
Where it's the, no, there's an equivalent thing that protects me. I have dubbed you my knight, and so you also are affected by the same kind of shit.
Totally. And I think this is a kooky theory, but it's more the idea that we're bringing up the ways in which so many characters have cheating death abilities and stuff, and then this guy is getting just as much focus or more so than like a third of the cast here, you know? Which feels really weird unless we're going to get a reveal as to who he is pretty soon, and we need to have that emotional buildup as to who he is.
The other thing that both goes for this and against this is the idea of how often do things actually go wrong for Al.
Never. Well, he's never really involved in anything until this arc.
Right, but they generally just sort of don't go wrong for Al.
Yeah.
Everything just sort of goes right. Most of the time he's off screen. But the fight with Lust, that's sort of the first time we've had him actually fight and stuff. But the thing of the Lust saying, oh, if you'd done that to my head, I would have died. That, like, if we're getting what we see as the perfect timeline Bill and Ted style, then that wouldn't have happened.
You're right. That's a good point.
It'd just be I that was in a previous iteration, and now on this one, I know that, and, shtick, boom.
Right. That could also be just a lie from her as well.
Potentially, but there's no reason for it to be.
But I'd have to go back and watch that. I'd have to go back and watch that bit to see, because I don't remember the details of what he says in conjunction with that. But yeah, Al to me has now completely been removed as the he's a joke character for the purpose of having really fun banter with him.
We'd get that too.
No, that too. But he is a world building plot point that is way bigger than just there's other people from our world that have been brought here somehow.
Exactly.
It's he's a secret, and he was about to take off his mask just because he was swimming underwater with a helmet on.
Right.
Which I will say, that's ridiculous. The fact that he could see where he was going or anything.
Oh, sure. No,
that on.
No,
it's not like, swiveling in his head or
what would make the most sense is that was what he used to just walk along the ground, because it's like, all right, cool, you have a weight, and now you're not buoyant, and now you can just, go as best you can. But
okay. But I was getting at that he was about to take it off, and then Anastasia shows up, and he's like, and
the whole idea of that's something Anastasia can't do.
Yeah.
That's very,
That's a very specific choice of words that also kind of made me think about someone that could theoretically be
now,
having way more knowledge than they should have.
Right. So to tie this back to the concreteness of the show and all of that stuff, right? Theories aside.
Right.
The fact that this theory is possible.
Yes.
Has implications, right? That, or rather showcases what the show's been doing with Al. And the stuff has been really good. Like you're saying, he's not just a joke character. He has been getting upgraded a bunch. We're getting all of this perspective on him that is absolutely fascinating, because even if he's just another isekai person, that is then establishing more information for us for Subaru, because he's he's our main character and he's been isekai'd, so let's see the other example, right? And so getting more from Al, I will always be happy about. Not just because I absolutely adore his witty banter and all of that stuff, because I love that, but I think it's really important from a plot, world foreshadowing, all that stuff that we get to see.
But in terms of that, there is nothing within his character. It's what he represents for the world. So thus, the big gaping hole is who is Al? Thus, from the meta sense, if you want to talk about what he means for the world building, that is why we're really excited for him.
Oh, sure.
But that doesn't fit with a character. You need an actual person with wants, needs, flaws,
or put
dreams,
another
goals.
way. And maybe this is like a silly thing that's not as important to to what we're dealing with here.
Yeah.
But we got it confirmed to Subaru that hey, I'm from your world, right? One of the things that I would think would make sense to have happen, and maybe not just yet because we then got put into a crazy situation, is okay, awesome, that's so cool. How was it for you when you came over here? Are there, you got any tips for me? I think I've mostly figured it out, but were you this age when you got brought over? Or how long have you been here?
For 20 years or something?
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
But, yeah.
No, but he's not doing that. He's extremely cagey. It's a thing with everybody that he's this way. Yeah. To me, this is the story. Also, potentially, maybe this is a bit of a light kind of prediction for the general conflict here. Given that we're mowing down archbishops now, we could end up in a story where the archbishops are not
the main conflict.
Main conflict.
And then it shifts to the actual witches themselves. Yeah.
Well, it shifts to the actual witches, but then what's her name? Pandora. Yeah, the one that's been kind of lurking about in the background of multiple little things here. That interaction with Regulus, and then way
Teresia
back when. Well, Teresia, but then also Amelia's adoptive parents, if you will. Fortuna and Goose. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, back then.
Yep.
So it's just I am seeing the way in which the story is also trying to take a milestone with this arc and move things to the next step. And the next step to me is the Amelia, Subaru, Satala kind of thing that has been unresolved there.
Sure.
We don't know fully what not just the plan, but the way in which that seems orchestrated for some kind of goal of Satala's and what have you.
Right.
And so if we have then other characters on the side getting upgraded, they're relevant to that story in some way.
Or not necessarily that one, but yeah,
that's the main one, right?
No, right. But the story can go through all kinds of things before.
Well, right. It'll take us time to get there, but
right, and so that doesn't necessarily mean that the relevance will last all the way up until.
You're absolutely right. But I think it's more likely than not. Now.
Yeah, the fact that the relevance is being upgraded in a mysterious way when we're already a ways through the story, that's interesting.
That's telling.
That potentially has some big implications because
we're in a large ensemble cast story with a bunch of characters in a high fantasy setting.
Right.
So there's going to be times for people to come out of the woodwork and shine.
Absolutely.
It totally could be just that for Al here, but I think the
opportunity is there.
The opportunity is there, and the kinds of things that he's been saying before this episode had me already in a so why is your identity a secret? I was always primed for that. And then this episode was just the it's potentially just right there. It's always been right there.
Yeah. I mean, if they manage to pull that off, I love it. I could totally love it. That's something that gets into some weird territory the time travel stuff that we had
totally.
In the show.
But we've been in weird territory since the beginning. The very beginning of this story started with dimensional hopping, body abduction.
Totally. Absolutely. But yeah.
I'm ready for it is what I'm saying.
Okay.
If this season ends with some kind of Al reveal, I will feel very vindicated. If it's not Subaru and it's just that, no, he's somebody that was also plucked by a witch or plucked by Satala specifically, I am ready. I'm excited.
Yeah.
And I'm ready.
The things they've been doing with Al have been fantastic, pretty consistently.
Right. But there also does seem to be a larger plot that goes beyond the archbishops that I'm now starting to I'm starting to feel like they're pulling back the curtain on it slowly.
Sure, because if nothing else,
I'm just realizing they seem like vehicles more than they do seem like the end of this story.
Well, put another way, we got a lot of archbishops here. If the archbishops are going to continue to be the conflict moving forward, then we've seriously jumped the shark.
Oh,
right?
no, I know. That's why I don't think that's the case. I think
This is the next stage.
This is the next stage. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're going to be jettisoning them off in a lot of ways, or at least a lot of them.
Right.
And then moving on to the next stage of things with, in a fun way, Subaru is now kind of a form of an archbishop.
Sure.
As well. But all that's for another time. But next episode is going to be the finale of season 3.
Also, the rats, really, and the eyes, that was genius and disturbing, and I hated it. I loved it.
The show just does the extra mile for the animation to make us really get immersed in the grossness of the setting. Yeah. But all right, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel. See if any of that interests you. We'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.